Hi, Tony here at Views from the Man Cave, and today I'm going to be giving a long-term review of the Bell Bullitt crash helmet. Now, I first reviewed the Bell Bullitt helmet back in 2015. It was one of the first videos I've done on the channel, and actually it was what prompted me to start the channel because I couldn't find the kind of review that I wanted for this helmet. Obviously now there's quite a lot of content out on the web about this helmet. It's well known, it's well loved, but what I thought I'd do was offer you a pros and cons view of the helmet, having had this for a couple of years. I've not really changed anything with the helmet since I purchased it, other than, as you will notice, it's now got an amber graduated shield. This shield has got just enough tint in it to keep the sun out in a sunny day, but if it gets a little bit overcast or you start riding into the night, then it's light enough that you can still continue to ride. So having owned this helmet, what do I think? Well, there are a number of pros and cons to this helmet. The first one, and the one I'll touch on immediately, is the fit. And this is both a pro and a con, because if this helmet fits you, perfect, that's great. If it doesn't, and unfortunately it doesn't fit a lot of head shapes, then it's pretty damn uncomfortable. Now, I'm a large in most helmets. The same was said for this, but if you noticed, if you've watched my previous video, I had a little bit of pressure in this section here. Now, I was able from new to just spend a bit of time pushing that with my fingers just to break the EPS down, compress that a little bit, and that was enough to take that pressure point off. However, one of the cons of the helmet is this lining. Now, to make the lining removable, which it is, it's got this kind of skull cap that sits inside. Now this, as you can see here, although not necessarily uncomfortable when you're riding it, does lead to this. Yeah, even after all this time, I do get left with those lines on my forehead, and that is just down to the way that this liner sits. Being honest, I will trade the removable liner for the type of liner that you've got in, say, the Custom 500 or the Moto 3, where you don't get that seam there, the liner runs round. That is the one big sticking point I have with this helmet. One of the pros, obviously, is the style and the design of the helmet. It's a great looking helmet, although it does sit a little bit tall on some heads, and being white is probably going to accentuate that a little bit. But having said that, it doesn't look odd on your head because it's slim everywhere else. It doesn't make you look like a matchstick. The other pro for this is that it is ECE and DOT rated, so it's a very safe helmet and it's very nicely constructed. You don't have any flex in the chin bar. It's a good solid helmet without being heavy. It's relatively light. Now, this chin bar sits pretty close to my face, which is okay. It does mean that with my chin I can open and close the air vent on the inside there, but this also leads to airflow. So really all you have is this little vent in the front here. You've obviously got the venturi at the back. You've also got these vents here that allow that wind through, and you can actually feel that when you're moving along. You can't block that off, so in the rain you do get a little bit of moisture comes through here. As you can imagine, with this chin guard, no chin sock underneath, you get quite a lot of wind going up underneath the helmet. Now, in the summer this is good because you get airflow up through there. In the winter you need to make sure you've got a neck tube and plenty of stuff on to stop the wind from whistling. Now, whistling is an interesting word to use because this isn't the quietest of helmets. I think given the shape of the visor and the way it fits around here and these little bits that stick out for the side, it can be quite noisy. This is one of the helmets that I do wear earplugs with. I don't find it to be a real problem, but it is something you have to be aware of. Although I said it is noisy, you do have these little pockets on the side here that are designed for earpieces. You can cut a piece of foam, slot that into that pocket, and that just helps with a little bit of soundproofing. One of the biggest selling points for this helmet is the vision. This eye port is huge, and when in use it is just like wearing an open face helmet. Great vision, even if you're doing shoulder checks, because the helmet is relatively narrow and it cuts quite a long way back here. then you can see behind you very easily. It does leave a lot of your face exposed. I think that's a positive. Now, I don't want to get into the argument between the safety of open and full face helmets. Quite obviously, full face helmets are safer in an impact. However, I believe open face helmets, or helmets where you get to see a lot of the face, are safer in and around town. There is an inbuilt part of the human psyche that automatically picks out faces. You can try this for yourself. If you just go to a crowded area and look around at the people, there's a part of your brain that's there picking out faces out of the crowd. And this is an old sort of friend or foe response, and that's ingrained into the human psyche. So actually, I think in and around town at slower speeds, if you've got an open face helmet, people will see your face quicker than if you were just wearing a helmet with a dark visor. Now, that's not proven, but that's something that I believe. So that's why I like to wear this helmet. It gives me the all-round vision that I need, but it also means that my face is visible, and it's a little bit more friendly. I spend a lot of time riding through the countryside of Essex, and I ride through little villages, and I pull over for the horses, and I stop and have a chat to people. Now, my open face helmet, that's great. If I'm riding in this helmet, you get pretty much the same reaction. It's just a friendly kind of helmet, but in terms of vision, it can't be surpassed. The visor is great as well. That magnetised clip at the bottom is really good. No messing, no fussy, no poppers to do up. Nothing else like that you get on some of the other retro helmets. Now, another great thing about this helmet is it's available in lots of different colorways and graphics. This is the Roland Sands Designs Viva helmet, which at the time I bought this was my preferred choice. Now, this graphic is not painted on, it is stuck on and lacquered over the top. Unfortunately, my one, when it arrived, that graphic had been put on slightly wonky over the top. I didn't make a fuss about it because it's hardly noticeable. That was just a little bit annoying, but there you go. One thing I'm going to do, I've got a video coming up soon where I'll fit a Sena Bluetooth communication units to this helmet. That's just to show you how those units can be fitted to retro helmets, so watch out for that video coming up. So in summary, I think this is a great helmet. If it fits you, then you're good. If it doesn't fit you, it's no good how much messing around. No matter how much you love the helmet, if it's not comfortable when it goes on, same with any other helmet, you've just got to put it to one side. And unfortunately, it doesn't fit that many head shapes. I've been wearing this a lot over the last couple of years, and with the exception of a couple of stone chips, it still looks pretty much as good as it did when I bought it. The fact that you can pull the cheek pads and the interior out and wash that is an added benefit, but it does mean that you've got this horrible seam here which leaves those imprints on your forehead. Now, I hope that was a useful view. I'll put a link up in the corner as usual. You can go away and have a look at a few more details on the helmet. There'll also be some videos at the end for you to look at as well. There's also a subscribe button. I'd love you to click on that. And all that leaves me to say is, until next time, thanks for watching, take care, ride safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.